All right, now the reason why we don't immediately shake it off right after we put it on the glue, a lot of people do that. They'll glue, they'll put the flock on or the static grass, and then they'll knock it off right away. Well, I don't do that. Elmer's, as you know, is kind of gooey, right? And so when you drop your flock on there, as the Elmer's is drying, some of the flock is soaking into it or seeping down into it. And so when it dries, you'll actually get a thicker patch of grass. Okay, so let's go ahead and knock some of the grass, the excess grass, the stuff that did not soak into the Elmer's. Let's knock that off into our little bucket here, little tray of extra static grass. Also, let's give you kind of a close-up view of these figures. Okay, and the basing, you see there is grass, there is gravel, fine and coarse. Okay, so that's what they're walking through. Alright, this is the finished unit. Well, actually it's not finished just yet. I have 2 steps left and then we will be completely done with this AWI unit. It's pretty awesome. I'm liking the way they turned out. Okay, last 2 steps. The flags need to be put on, and then I'm not going to film it, but you get the idea that on the bottom of these bases I write on here with paint. I paint on there 20th foot, and you guys could do however you want. Some guys take stickers, write 20th foot on it and stick it on the bottom. Do whatever you want. I just paint on the bottom what unit is. Alright, we made it to the last step of doing these models. For the purposes of this video, that is adding your flags to your figures. Now, you can go to a lot of different places and you can download flags, or you can copy them from books, or get on the internet and find flags. This was actually picked up from a website called War Flag. They have flags from all through history, and these are the flags that I'm going to use. Now, I'm using the second flag row right here. That is a generic flag, but it is the exact same flag that I need for this unit. So, because most of the British units carried a King's Guidon, and they also carried a flag with their regimental color on it, which is yellow, as you already know. So let me cut these out. Alright, alright, now that I've got my different flags cut out, what I do now is I lightly fold them in half upon themselves. That way, but I don't pinch it so tight that it's a crease, okay? I just kind of like bend it slightly, because that's what's going to wrap around the pole. Now, you can see that now when you have the flag, you'll have it on both sides, right? Okay. On War Flag, what they tend to do is give you a little bit of an area right on the tip and the bottom that needs to be cut off in addition to the flag. Alright. Now, before I start gluing anything, what I do is I take my flags and I put them on their standards, you know, and I just want to see if they fit, and I can see that this does not fit. Okay, so what I do is I cut a little bit more off the top. I just cut a little room off the top, and I'm going to cut quite a bit of room off the bottom, because that's where this gentleman's hand is holding the guidon, and it would be kind of like that. It won't affect the look of the flag at all. It'll improve it, because you'll see the hand of the guy that's holding this a little bit more. And we're just going to do the back flag. Show you how I do the back flag, and I basically do the exact same thing on the front flag. Now, I put it on the side like this. I drape it straight down so that it'll rest on the banner. I mean, every model is going to be different, but on this one, I'm just going to let it hang on this side. And then once I get it glued, then I will form it around the gentleman's head, I'll roll it, or what have you. So now, how do we go about doing that? Well, I'm glad you asked. I take Elmer's glue. I use Elmer's for a lot of things. Okay, and you put that on the flag. Okay, and then I use my finger to spread that around to all the paper. Okay, what that does is the liquid in the Elmer's seeps into the paper, and it also makes the paper kind of roll. As you can see, it's starting to roll. That's fine. Just be careful not to allow it to roll up on itself. And it loosens it up, makes it more pliable. Okay, and the glue over the entire paper kind of seals the paper too. Believe it or not, it kind of soaks all the way through. Okay, so it's completely covered in Elmer's. It's flexible, it's sticky. I drape it on the banner, on the standard pole. Making sure you can see what I'm doing. Okay, there you go. Okay. And then you fold it around to where the back ends meet. And you gradually squeeze it together. And if Elmer's gets all over something, no big deal. Elmer's glue dries clear. Elmer's white glue does anyway, school glue. Okay, now when it comes to right around the guidon, I kind of have to pinch it around to make it fit snugly and make it appear that the pole is still round. Okay. And then I take the whole flag and I turn it so that it's facing more towards the rear. I kind of have to roll it on the pole. It doesn't have to be going exactly to the front. Kind of like that. Okay, that corner's not sticking together. There we go. Get all the air bubbles out. Again, pinch it around the pole. When you do that, little Elmer's is going to leak. That's good. That's a good sign. Okay, so now my banner is on there and it's a little wet. Okay, that's good. Now, you know, flags fly in the wind. They don't look exactly straight like paper. So what I do is I take sometimes a paintbrush and I will use it as a weathering tool, like a winding tool, I mean. Okay, so far so good, right? And then I'll have it go back up the other way also. Sometimes I'll have it roll on itself. Or I'll have it roll down like the wind is catching it. I don't know if you've ever watched flags fly in the wind, but they fly in every different kind of crazy direction. So it's good to simulate that with your if you want it just hanging down with no wind, you sure can. Or you can, you know, like let it dry like that, you know, as straight up and down. But if you want it to kind of blow in the wind, which I like it to blow a little bit in the wind. Okay, now once your flags are on the base, there is one thing I like to do, because if you look real close, you can kind of see there's a white seam around all the flags where they might not have exactly fit just perfectly together, or I didn't line them up just perfectly together. But there's a way to fix that. You get black and you outline it with black. I mean, really thin. Basically, you just cover any of the white that shows. Alright, now there's the flag, and you can kind of see the black around the edges, and that's how they would look on the field. Alright, these figures are finished. Okay, and as a final treat, I'm going to pull out some other units and just kind of go through them real quick just so you can see how effective this painting technique is. The 2nd New York. 1st Virginia, or Morgan's Rifles. 1st New Hampshire. I think these guys are called the Green Mountain Boys. Militia. Second Mass. This technique works for your command stands like brigadier generals. Also, it works for your commander-in-chiefs. That's Benedict Arnold, and your artillery pieces. This technique works for pretty much every figure, and also it works for your World War II figures. It'll work for your Warhammer 40K figures, whatever you've got. Alright, well, I appreciate you coming out and checking out these videos. I hope you learned something. And I plan to do other hobby-related gaming videos like terrain and things like that. So please come out and check them out. Please subscribe, and remember, get out there and play.